Hey everyone, welcome back to English Rhythm. I'm Tom, and today I'm incredibly excited to share something completely different with you. We've all heard the standard advice about improving English fluency: shadow every day, speak out loud, practice with native speakers. Those methods are absolutely valuable, but today I want to introduce you to 7 revolutionary habits that most English teachers never talk about. These habits are different, they're powerful, and here's the best part: they're incredibly simple to implement. You can practice them at home, they take just minutes each day, and they will fundamentally transform how fluently you speak English. If you've been struggling with speaking confidence, if you freeze up in conversations, or if you want to sound more natural and native-like, this video is exactly what you need. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because these 7 habits are about to revolutionize your English learning journey. Let's jump right into the first game-changing habit. Habit 1. Master the art of micro-retelling. The first transformative habit is called micro-retelling, and this technique is absolutely brilliant for building fluency. Now, micro means small, and retelling means telling again. So micro-retelling simply means telling a small story again using your own words. This isn't about speaking for long periods or using complex grammar structures. It's about taking short pieces of content and retelling them in your own simple, natural English. Here's exactly how this powerful technique works. Step 1 is watch or listen to something short in English. Choose content that's just 1 to 2 minutes long. This could be a short YouTube video, a scene from a movie, a small segment of a podcast, a news clip, or even a cartoon. The key is keeping it brief and manageable. You can find perfect content on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or any streaming platform. While you're watching, listen carefully and observe what happens. Try to understand the main story or message. Don't worry if you miss some details or don't understand every single word. That's completely normal and expected. Focus on grasping the main events, the basic storyline, or the core message being communicated. Step 2 is where the magic happens. Close the video, stop watching, and immediately try to retell what you just saw using your own words. This is crucial. You're not trying to memorize and repeat exactly what was said. Instead, you're processing the information and expressing it in your own way using your current English vocabulary and grammar. You don't need to remember every detail or use sophisticated vocabulary. Simply describe what happened using basic sentences. 2 or 3 sentences are often enough to capture the essence of what you watched. The goal is natural expression, not perfect reproduction. Let me give you a concrete example to illustrate this technique. Imagine you watch a short video where a cat is walking down a hallway. The cat notices an empty cardboard box sitting on the floor. The cat becomes curious, approaches the box, and jumps inside. Once inside, the cat appears content and comfortable, settling down happily. Now, close the video and practice your micro-retelling. You might say something like, "A cat saw an empty box on the ground. It got curious and decided to jump inside. The cat looked really happy and comfortable in there." That's it. You've successfully completed a micro-retelling exercise. This simple habit provides multiple benefits for your English development. First, it helps your brain actively process and remember new vocabulary and context rather than just passively hearing words. Second, it gives you practice speaking with real English content rather than artificial textbook examples. Third, it builds your confidence because you're successfully communicating ideas, even if your grammar isn't perfect. Fourth, it trains your mind to think and speak more quickly and naturally because you're processing information and expressing it spontaneously. The beauty of micro-retelling is that you're not just watching or listening passively, you're actively using the language, which is how genuine fluency develops. This habit takes only 5 minutes per day, but the cumulative effect over weeks and months is tremendous for developing natural speaking ability. Habit 2. Build your arsenal of ready responses. The second transformative habit is developing ready responses, and this technique will eliminate those awkward moments when your mind goes blank during conversations. Ready responses mean preparing natural answers before situations occur, so you're never caught off guard or struggling for words. We've all experienced those moments when someone speaks to us, asks a question, or makes a comment, and our brain suddenly freezes. We think, "What should I say now?" This is completely normal for language learners, but we can solve this problem by preparing natural responses in advance. A ready response is a short, natural sentence that works perfectly in everyday situations. It's not overly long or complicated, just a good, simple answer that sounds authentic and appropriate. You learn these responses, practice them until they feel natural, and then use them automatically when the situation arises. Let's explore some common scenarios. When someone gives you a compliment, saying something nice about your appearance, your work, or your personality, you need smooth, natural ways to respond. Here are 3 perfect ready responses. Thanks, that's so kind of you. This response shows genuine gratitude and acknowledges their kindness. Oh, thank you, that made my day. This response shows that their compliment had a positive impact on you. Really? I appreciate it. This response shows slight surprise and sincere appreciation. These responses are simple, natural, and exactly what native speakers use in these situations. When you practice them regularly, they become automatic reactions that you can use without thinking. Here's another extremely common situation someone asks. How was your weekend? You need several natural responses ready for this frequent question. Try these options. It was good, thanks. Just relaxed at home. This is perfect for quiet weekends spent resting. Pretty quiet. I watched some movies and caught up on sleep. This shows you had a peaceful, restful time. Nice, actually. I went to the park and met some friends. This indicates you had an active, social weekend. The key to building this habit is consistency and practice. Choose one common situation each day and develop 2 or 3 natural responses for it. If you struggle to think of appropriate answers, you can ask AI assistants like ChatGPT for suggestions, then adapt them to match your personal style. Once you have your responses, speak them out loud repeatedly until they feel comfortable and natural. Practice them again the next day to reinforce the patterns. Finally, use them in real conversations or even practice them in your head during quiet moments. Spending just 5 minutes daily on this habit will give you dozens of ready responses within a month. Over time, you'll have natural, confident answers for virtually any common situation. This eliminates anxiety, reduces hesitation, and makes your conversations flow much more smoothly. Some additional situations to prepare for include responding when someone compliments your English skills, explaining why you're late to a meeting, answering when people ask about your hobbies or interests, and responding when someone asks for your opinion about something. Habit 3. Practice 2-minute reactions. The third game-changing habit is 2-minute reactions, and this technique develops your ability to think and express opinions in English spontaneously. This habit involves watching or listening to something, then immediately speaking your thoughts and reactions for exactly 2 minutes. This practice is incredibly powerful because it mimics real-life communication. In genuine conversations, people constantly ask for your thoughts. What do you think about this? Do you like it? Would you do that? How does that make you feel? You need to respond naturally and expressively, sharing your genuine opinions and reactions. 2-minute reactions prepare you for these moments by training you to think in English and express your personal ideas fluently. You're not just repeating information or retelling stories, you're engaging with content emotionally and intellectually, which is exactly what happens in real conversations. Here's the step-by-step process. Every day, choose one small piece of English content. This could be a short video, an interesting photograph, a brief podcast segment, a news headline, or even a meaningful quote. The content should be consumable in about 1 minute, keeping the focus manageable. Watch or listen carefully, paying attention to your genuine reactions and feelings about what you're experiencing. Then stop the content and immediately begin speaking your thoughts for 2 minutes. Don't read from notes, don't write anything down, just speak freely and naturally about whatever comes to mind. You can discuss what you observed, what you liked or disliked, what the content reminded you of, how it made you feel, whether you agree or disagree, what you would do in a similar situation, or any other genuine reactions. The key is authentic expression without worrying about perfect grammar or sophisticated vocabulary. Let me demonstrate with a concrete example. Imagine you watch a video of a dog playing enthusiastically in fresh snow. The dog runs around excitedly, jumps into snowbanks, rolls around playfully, and appears absolutely delighted by the winter weather. Your 2-minute reaction might sound like this. That was absolutely adorable. I love watching dogs because they're always so genuinely happy and excited about simple things. This dog looked incredibly excited about the snow. It reminded me of how children react when they see snow for the first time. I don't currently have a dog, but watching this makes me want to get one someday. Dogs seem to find joy in everything, which is such a beautiful quality. Maybe I should take my friend's dog to the park this weekend and see if it reacts the same way to new experiences. It's amazing how animals can be so present and happy in the moment. Notice how this reaction includes personal opinions, emotional responses, memories, future plans, and genuine thoughts. This is natural, authentic communication that develops real fluency skills. Here's another example using a meaningful quote. Consider this quote. Be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a hard battle you know nothing about. Your reaction might be, that quote is really deep and meaningful. It reminds me that we never really know what other people are going through in their private lives. Someone might seem happy on the outside but be dealing with serious problems we can't see. I think this is so true from my own experience. Sometimes I feel stressed or sad, but I don't show it to others. So I should remember that other people might be feeling the same way. This quote makes me want to be more patient and understanding with people, especially when they seem grumpy or unfriendly. Maybe they're just having a really difficult day. This habit builds multiple crucial skills simultaneously. You develop fluency by speaking continuously for extended periods. You build confidence by successfully expressing complex thoughts. You improve speed by thinking and speaking simultaneously. Most importantly, you develop real-life speaking skills because you're practicing the kind of spontaneous, personal communication that happens in genuine conversations. You learn to think directly in English rather than translating from your native language. You practice connecting ideas smoothly and expressing emotions authentically. These are the core skills that separate fluent speakers from those who can only use English for basic communication. Habit 4. Create your personal phrase bank. The fourth transformative habit is building your personal phrase bank, and this technique will make your speaking significantly easier and more natural. This simple but powerful approach involves collecting, practicing, and using authentic English phrases that you encounter in real content. Think of a bank as a place where you store money for future use. A phrase bank works the same way, except you're storing useful English expressions instead of money. You collect phrases that sound natural and useful, practice them until they feel comfortable, and then withdraw them when you need them in conversations. When we speak English fluently, we don't construct every sentence word by word from scratch. Instead, we use chunks of language, common phrases, expressions, and word combinations that we've heard many times before. These phrases become automatic, allowing us to speak quickly and naturally without constantly thinking about grammar rules. Your phrase bank becomes your personal toolkit of expressions that you can use confidently in various situations. When you have these phrases ready, you can focus on your message and emotions rather than struggling to build sentences from individual words. Here's how to build this habit effectively. Every day, listen to English content podcasts, videos, conversations, interviews, or any material you enjoy. When you hear a phrase that sounds particularly useful or natural, stop and pay attention. Think, that sounds like something I could use in my own conversations. Write the phrase down in a notebook or phone app, creating a special section called My Phrase Bank. Include the phrase itself, its meaning, and an example of how it's used. For instance, you might hear someone say, "It's not a big deal." Write it down like this phrase. It's not a big deal. Meaning it's not a problem, it's okay, don't worry about it. Example. Sorry I'm late. It's not a big deal. After writing the phrase, practice saying it aloud multiple times until it feels natural in your mouth. Pay attention to the rhythm, stress, and intonation. Say it with me now. It's not a big deal. Again. It's not a big deal. One more time. It's not a big deal. Excellent. The final step is actively using the phrase in real situations. Use it when texting friends, incorporate it into your 2-minute reactions, or say it during actual conversations. The more you use each phrase, the more automatic it becomes. You don't need hundreds of phrases to make a significant impact. Just one phrase per day creates tremendous results. In 1 month, you'll have 30 useful expressions. In 1 year, you'll have over 300 phrases, which is more than enough for natural, confident conversations. Remember, fluency isn't about knowing more words, it's about using better words that you can access quickly and naturally. Focus on phrases you can actually use rather than trying to memorize advanced vocabulary that you'll rarely need. Some categories to focus on include agreeing and disagreeing phrases like, I see your point, I'm not so sure about that. Emotional reactions like, that's incredible, I can't believe it. Transition phrases like, speaking of which, by the way. And social phrases like, let's catch up soon, take care. Habit 5. Master fluency loops for flexible expression. The 5th revolutionary habit is called fluency loops, and this technique trains your brain to express the same ideas in multiple ways, dramatically increasing your flexibility and confidence. Fluency loops involve taking one concept and expressing it using different vocabulary, grammar structures, and levels of detail. Many English learners speak in a very rigid, limited way. They learn one way to express an idea and stick to it regardless of the situation or audience. They might say, I stayed home. I watched a movie. I ate dinner. While this communication is functional, it lacks flexibility and naturalness. Fluent speakers constantly vary their expression based on context, audience, and purpose. They might express the same information formally in a business meeting, casually with friends, or dramatically when telling an exciting story. This flexibility is a hallmark of true fluency. Fluency loops train this essential skill by having you express the same idea multiple times using different approaches. Each repetition builds different linguistic muscles and increases your comfort with various ways of communicating. Here's the daily practice structure. Choose a simple topic like what you did yesterday, what you had for lunch, your opinion about the weather, or a recent experience. Start with the most basic version possible, using simple vocabulary and grammar. Let's use yesterday as our example. Your first version might be, I stayed home. I was tired. I watched a movie. This is your foundation, clear, simple, and functional. For your second loop, add more details and use slightly more sophisticated language. I didn't go out yesterday because I felt a bit tired, so I decided to stay in and watch a movie on Netflix. Notice how this version flows better and provides more context. For your third loop, add personality, emotions, and opinions. I really needed a quiet day to recharge, so I stayed home and watched an amazing film. Honestly, it felt incredible to just relax and not worry about anything. Now your English comes alive with feeling and authenticity. This progression from basic to detailed to emotional mirrors how fluent speakers naturally adjust their communication. They start with the core message, then add layers of detail and personality as needed. Fluency loops provide several crucial benefits. They build confidence by proving you can express ideas in multiple ways. They develop flexibility, so you're never stuck with just one way of saying something. They improve your ability to clarify and expand when people don't understand your first attempt. Most importantly, they give you real control over your English expression. Practice different loop patterns to build various skills. Try going from formal to casual. I must apologize for my tardiness. Becomes, sorry I'm late. Becomes, my bad, traffic was crazy. Or practice going from simple to complex. The weather is nice. Becomes, we're having beautiful weather today. Becomes, the weather has been absolutely gorgeous, perfect temperature with just enough breeze to keep things comfortable. This habit teaches you that fluent speakers don't just know English, they play with English, adjusting their expression to match their purpose, audience, and emotions. When you master fluency loops, you gain this same expressive freedom. Habit 6. Copy 10 seconds like an actor. The sixth transformative habit is copying 10 seconds of native speaker content like an actor, and this technique develops your natural pronunciation, rhythm, and emotional expression. This goes far beyond basic repetition or shadowing your learning to embody the language like a performer. Choose exactly 10 seconds of content from a movie, TV show, interview, or any video with natural English speaking. The brevity is crucial because it allows you to focus intensely on every detail of pronunciation, intonation, emotion, and rhythm without becoming overwhelmed. Listen to your chosen 10 seconds multiple times, paying attention to much more than just the words. Notice the speaker's tone of voice, the rhythm and pacing, where they pause, which words they emphasize, and most importantly, the emotional quality of their delivery. Are they excited, serious, playful, concerned? This emotional dimension is what makes speech sound natural and engaging. After thoroughly analyzing the clip, begin copying everything you noticed. Don't just repeat the words, embody the speaker's energy, match their rhythm, copy their emotional expression. If they sound excited, you sound excited. If they pause dramatically, you pause dramatically. If they emphasize certain words strongly, you do the same. This technique works because natural speech involves much more than correct pronunciation. When we speak in real life, we use tone to convey emotions, rhythm to create emphasis, and pauses to build suspense or give listeners time to process information. These elements are just as important as getting the words right. Many language learners focus exclusively on vocabulary and grammar while neglecting the musical and emotional aspects of speech. This creates technically correct but emotionally flat communication that sounds robotic or unnatural. By copying like an actor, you learn to use your voice as an expressive instrument. Practice this with different types of content to develop range in your expression. Copy someone giving an enthusiastic recommendation, expressing disappointment, telling an exciting story, explaining something complex, or sharing personal emotions. Each type of content teaches different aspects of natural expression. The 10-second limit forces you to go deep rather than wide. Instead of trying to copy large amounts of content superficially, you're developing profound understanding of how native speakers actually use their voices to communicate effectively. This habit transforms your speaking from merely conveying information to truly communicating with personality, emotion, and authenticity. When you speak with this kind of natural expression, people listen more attentively and respond more positively to your communication. Habit 7. Practice. What would I say? Mental rehearsal. The seventh and final game-changing habit is mental rehearsal using what would I say? Scenarios. This technique uses visualization to prepare you for real conversations before they happen, dramatically reducing anxiety and improving your spontaneous speaking ability. Mental rehearsal is used by athletes, public speakers, and performers to prepare for important moments. You can use the same technique to prepare for English conversations, making them feel more familiar and comfortable when they actually occur. The process involves imagining realistic situations you might encounter and then practicing what you would say in those moments. This mental practice prepares your brain for real conversations, so when similar situations arise, you feel prepared rather than surprised or nervous. Start by thinking of a specific, realistic situation from your daily life. This could be ordering food at a restaurant, use rather than trying to memorize advanced vocabulary, calling to make an appointment, asking for categories to focus on, or meeting someone new, agreeing and disagreeing phrases like choose situations that are likely to happen in your real life. Emotional reactions. Once you've selected a situation, that's incredible. Close your eyes and imagine it vividly. Transition picture where you are, who you're talking to, of which, what the environment looks like, and social phrases like. Let's make the mental scenario as realistic as possible. Habit 5. Master fluency loops the crucial expression. What would I say? The fifth revolutionary habit is speaking aloud as if you're actually in that situation. And this technique trains your brain to express the same what you might say multiple ways. Speak the words with appropriate tone increasing your flexibility and confidence. For example, imagine you're at a coffee shop taking one concept and expressing it using different vocabulary, and the barista grammar structures with a smile and levels of detail. What would you say? Many English learners speak in a very rigid, hi there, could I get a medium cappuccino to go, please? They learn one way to express an idea and stick to it regardless of the situation with milk, or audience. No sugar. They might say, Hi,
What do you recommend
for someone who likes
I watched
strong
a
coffee?
movie.
Practice
dinner.
different variations
While
of the
this
same
communication
scenario.
is functional,
What if the
it lacks
barista
flexibility
asks follow-up
and
questions?
naturalness?
What if they're
Fluent
having a
speakers
promotion you're
constantly
interested
vary
in?
their expression based
What if
on
you need to
context,
change your order,
audience, and
By
purpose?
practicing these variations,
They might express
you
the
prepare
same
for the
information
unpredictable
formally in a
nature
business
of real
meeting,
conversations,
casually with friends.
mental
or
rehearsal works
dramatically
because
when
it
telling an
creates
exciting
familiarity
story.
with situations
This
before you
flexibility
encounter
is
them.
a hallmark of true
When the real
fluency.
moment comes, your
Fluency
brain
loops
recognizes
trains
the
the essential
pattern and
skill
can
by
access
having
the
you
language
express
the
the
same
same
idea
idea
multiple times
This
using
reduces
different approaches.
anxiety, increases
Each
confidence,
repetition builds
and helps you
different
respond
linguistic
more
muscles
naturally
and increases your
quickly.
comfort with various
Practice
ways
this
of
habit daily
communicating.
by choosing different
Here's
scenarios.
the daily practice
Introducing
structure.
yourself at a networking
Choose a simple
event,
topic like
explaining
what you did
a problem
yesterday,
to customer service,
what you had for lunch,
discussing your
your
weekend
opinion
plans
about
with
the
friends,
weather,
or
asking
asking
your
experience.
boss about a project.
Start with the
The
most
more
basic
situations
version
you mentally
possible,
rehearse,
using simple
the more
vocabulary
prepared you
and
feel
grammar.
for real English
Let's use
conversations.
yesterday
This
as our
technique
example.
also helps you
Your
identify
first
gaps
version
in
might
your
be,
knowledge.
I
If you
stayed
struggle
home.
to imagine what
I
you
was
say in a
tired.
particular
I
situation,
watched a movie.
that indicates an
This is
area
your
where you need to
foundation,
build
clear,
vocabulary
simple,
or
and
learn common
functional.
phrases.
For your second
You can
loop,
then research
add
more
more
detailed
details
expressions
and use slightly
practice them
more
through mental
sophisticated
rehearsal.
language.
Putting
I
it all
didn't go out
together,
yesterday
your
because
daily
I felt a
fluency
bit tired,
routine.
so I
Now
decided
that
to
you
stay in
understand
and
all
watch a
7
movie on
transformative
Netflix.
habits,
Let's
notice
discuss
how
how
to
this
implement
flows
them
better
effectively
and
in your
provides
daily
more
routine.
context. The key
For
to
your
success
third loop,
is
add
consistency
personality
rather than perfection.
emotions, and opinions.
Even 15
I
minutes
really
per day
needed a quiet
practicing
day
these
to
techniques
recharge,
will create
so I
remarkable
stayed home and
improvements
watched
in your
an
fluency
amazing
over
film.
time.
Honestly,
I recommend
it felt
rotating
incredible
through the
to
habits
just
rather
relax
than
and
trying
not
to
worry
do
about
all
anything
7 every day.
Now your English
Monday
comes
might
alive
be
with
micro-retelling
feeling
and ready
authenticity.
responses. This progression
Tuesday
from
could
basic to
focus on
detailed to
2-minute
emotional
reactions and
mirrors how
phrase
fluent
bank building.
speakers naturally adjust
Wednesday
their
might
communication.
emphasize fluency loops
They start
and
with the
actor
core
copying.
message, then add
Thursday
layers
could
of
return
detail
to
and
mental
personality
rehearsal
as
and
micro-retelling. Fluency
This
loops
rotation
provide
keeps
several
your
crucial
practice
benefits.
varied and engaging
They
while
build
ensuring you
confidence
develop
by
all
proving
the
you can
essential
express
skills.
ideas in multiple
Start
ways.
with the habits that
They
feel
develop
most comfortable
flexibility,
and gradually
so you're never
incorporate the
stuck
others
with just
as these
one
become
way of
natural.
saying something. Some learners
They improve
gravitate
your ability
toward the
to
more
clarify
analytical
and
habits
expand
like
when
phrase
people
banking,
don't understand
while
your
others
first
prefer
attempt.
the creative aspects
Most
like actor
importantly,
copying. They give you real
honor
control
your
over
learning
your
style
English
while
expression.
gradually expanding your comfort
Practice
zone.
different loop patterns to
Track
build
your
various
progress
by
skills.
recording yourself regularly.
Try going from formal to
Notice
casual.
how your fluency,
I must
confidence,
apologize for my
and
tardiness
natural expression improve
becomes,
over weeks and months.
Sorry I'm late.
Celebrate
becomes,
small victories
my
using
bad.
a new phrase
Traffic
naturally,
was crazy.
completing a 2-minute
practice
reaction
going from
without
simple
major
to complex.
pauses, or
The weather is
successfully
nice.
handling a real conversation
becomes,
using your mental
We're having
rehearsal
beautiful weather
practice.
today.
Remember
becomes,
that fluency is
the
not
weather
magic
has been
or
absolutely
inborn talent.
gorgeous,
It's a
perfect
skill
temperature
developed
with
through
just enough
consistent,
breeze to
intelligent
keep
things
practice.
comfortable. These
This
7
habit
habits
teaches
provide
you that
you with
proven
proven
techniques
techniques
for
for
building
building
authentic
authentic
speaking
speaking
ability
ability
that
that goes far
adjusting
beyond
their
textbook
expression
English.
to match their purpose.
Every day
audience,
you practice these
and
habits,
emotions.
you're building neural
When you
pathways
master
that
fluency
make English
loops,
expression
you gain
more
the same
automatic
expressive
and natural.
freedom.
You're
Habit
training your
6,
brain to think in
copy
English,
10 seconds like
developing
an actor.
confidence in real
The sixth
communication
transformative
situations,
habit is copying
and
10
building the
seconds of
flexibility
native
that
speaker content
characterizes
like an
truly
actor.
fluent speakers.
And this technique develops
The
your
journey
natural
to fluency is
pronunciation,
personal,
rhythm,
and unique
and
for each
emotional
learner.
expression.
Some people
This goes
develop
far
confidence
beyond
quickly
basic
while others
repetition
need
or
more
shadowing
time to
your learning to
internalize
embody
new
the
patterns.
language like a performer.
Some learners excel
Choose
at
exactly
pronunciation
10 seconds
while
of
others
content
have
from a
natural
movie,
talent for
TV
creative
show,
expression.
interview,
Honor
or any
your
video
individual
with
journey
natural
while
English
maintaining
speaking.
consistent practice
The
with
brevity
these
is
powerful
crucial
techniques
because it
allows you to focus
Most
intensely
importantly,
on every
be patient
detail
and
of compassionate
compassionate
with yourself.
Intonation,
Language
emotion,
learning is
and
a
rhythm
marathon
without becoming
not a
overwhelmed.
sprint.
Every
Listen
time
to your
you
chosen
practice
10
micro-retelling,
multiple times.
every ready
Paying
response you
attention
master,
to much more
every
than
2-minute
just the
reaction
words.
you complete.
Notice
every
the
phrase
speaker's
you
tone
add
of
to your
voice,
bank,
the rhythm
every
and
fluency
pacing,
loop you
where
practice,
they pause,
every
which
10
words they
seconds you
emphasize,
copy,
and most
and every
importantly,
scenario you
the
mentally
emotional
rehearse.
quality
You're
of
making
their
genuine
delivery.
progress toward
Are
your
they
fluency
excited,
goals.
serious, playful,
These
concerned?
7 habits will transform
This
your English
emotional
speaking
dimension
ability,
is what makes speech
but only
sound
if you
natural
commit to
and
practicing
engaging
them consistently.
After thoroughly analyzing
Choose the
clip,
techniques that
begin
resonate most
copying
strongly
everything
with
you
you.
notice.
Create a realistic
Don't
daily
just
practice
repeat the words,
embody the speaker's process. Match their rhythm.
Your future fluent
Copy
self
their
is
emotional
waiting for you
expression.
to take these essential
If they
steps.
sound excited, you sound
This is
excited.
English Rhythm, and I'm
If they
Tom.
pause dramatically,
Thank you for
pause
joining me on this
dramatically.
comprehensive
If
journey
they
through
emphasize
7
certain
game-changing
words strongly,
fluency habits.
you do the same. If
This
video
technique
has
works
provided
because
value
natural
for your
speech
English learning
involves
journey,
much more
please
than correct
subscribe to the
pronunciation.
channel. Give this
When we
video
speak
a
in
thumbs
real
up
life,
and
we
share
use
your
tone to convey
experiences with
emotions,
these techniques
rhythm
in the
to create
comments below.
emphasis,
And
I read
pauses
every
to build
comment and
suspense
love hearing
or give
about your
listeners time
progress.
to process information.
Keep practicing.
These
keep
elements
growing,
are just
keep
as
believing
important
in your
as getting
ability
the
to
words
achieve
right.
fluency.
Many language learners focus exclusively on
natural
vocabulary
and grammar
while neglecting the
musical
musical
and
emotional
until then,
aspects of speech.
remember that every moment
This
of practice
creates
brings
technically
you closer
correct
to
but
the
emotionally
confident,
flat
fluent English
communication that
speaker you're
sounds
becoming.
robotic or unnatural. By copying like an actor, you learn to use your voice as an expressive instrument. Practice this with different types of content to develop range in your expression. Copy someone giving an enthusiastic recommendation, expressing disappointment, telling an exciting story, explaining something complex, or sharing personal emotions. Each type of content teaches different aspects of natural expression. The 10-second limit forces you to go deep rather than wide. Instead of trying to copy large amounts of content superficially, you're developing profound understanding of how native speakers actually use their voices to communicate effectively. This habit transforms your speaking from merely conveying information to truly communicating with personality, emotion, and authenticity. When you speak with this kind of natural expression, people listen more attentively and respond more positively to your communication. Habit 7. Practice. What would I say? Mental rehearsal. The 7th and final game-changing habit is mental rehearsal using "what would I say?" scenarios. This technique uses visualization to prepare you for real conversations before they happen, dramatically reducing anxiety and improving your spontaneous speaking ability. Mental rehearsal is used by athletes, public speakers, and performers to prepare for important moments. You can use the same technique to prepare for English conversations, making them feel more familiar and comfortable when they actually occur. The process involves imagining realistic situations you might encounter and then practicing what you would say in those moments. This mental practice prepares your brain for real conversations, so when similar situations arise, you feel prepared rather than surprised or nervous. Start by thinking of a specific, realistic situation from your daily life.